Now let's take a look at a Southern California home where rooms are transformed by the push of a button. If you thought rotating walls and moving floors were reserved for James Bond, think again. Rex Beasley is the creator of a system called fluid architecture, and he's with us today to explain to us how rooms can trade spaces. What is fluid architecture?
Well, fluid architecture is the ability to change the shape of the architecture quickly. This is a bar, and we are now going to swing the bar away and bring in a theater. Theaters are a big new thing that people are enjoying, and I think theaters will even increase in their use because this is really the window to the world. This will be used for video conferencing, for searching the World Wide Web, for getting your email, multimedia presentations. So this really represents, I think, even more than the theater. We could have a fireplace on the back side, so we could bring a fireplace in where the theater was. We could also have a home office that goes from one room to the other. Anything you can think of.
Do all of your designs have dual function?
Well, yeah. In fact, one of the advantages of fluid architecture is that we're able to take different things to different places and get a lot more functionality out of the house.
Is new technology important in your designs?
Well, yes. In fact, I really feel like designs like this are becoming more important because we need to leverage them. As an example, I mentioned the window to the world. Well, if this is going to be such an important place for us to see, we'd like to have that go into different rooms, be in more locations. So by changing the architecture quickly, we get to have this in different locations.
Well, I'm very impressed by this and by how light it was when we turned it around. Can we see what's on the other side?
Okay. So come on in here, Kristen, and we're going to look at the 008. You know how when you go to a home, you see a floor plan, and the floor plan is one floor plan, and what you see is what you get.
Well, this bedroom, I understand, is not that way.
That's right.
So this whole system is on remote control.
Mm-hmm.
And how is the system actually operated?
Well, everything's very flat, and we're on tracks. There's a lot of sensors and other systems that make it run efficiently, but it's now being driven outdoors by a 1/8 horsepower motor.
That's amazing.
It's very finely tuned, so it runs easily. In fact, you could actually push this yourself if you really wanted to.
And if the power goes out, I guess that's how you get the room back in?
If the power goes out, which can be an important thing these days, yes, you can push it back in. So we're moving from what I call position 1, which is a conventional situation, to position 2, where the bedroom is twice as large, but is still private and contiguous with the house. If we go over here, this is an alcove. So Kristen, as you can see, when we open this up, we can vary the amount of privacy and exposure to the outdoors. We get this whole situation of being able to let nature in, not having indoors be so sealed away from the outdoors.
I love it. So there are a total of 3 positions with this particular room, right?
Why don't you be the driver?
Well, thank you.
And so now we're going out to position 3, and this takes the bedroom out into the yard takes it up against the national forest and the mountains where there's a gorgeous view, and they really get to be more part of what this lot's about.
Why did you design this type of a room?
Well, there's a number of things that bother me about static architecture. One of them is that it can't change shape, and of course our needs change dramatically all the time. So to have one floor plan and think that's going to deal with all of our various needs in life is kind of ridiculous. However, if we can change the shape easily and it does more things, we now have an architecture which is more adaptable to us.
How can you add something like this to an existing home?
Now this 008, which is linear, does require a backyard where you can move out into it.
Well, how many years did you spend developing this whole concept?
Well, I started when I was a little boy and kept thinking about these things, and it enlarged to the extent where 10 years ago I actually started to build these things more seriously, and so I really have 10 years in product development.
How long does it take to build something like this?
It depends on the site, of course, because if you have complications with foundations, etc., that can take more time. But start to finish is probably about a 4-month project.
We have viewers all over the country, so I have to ask this question about bugs. Some people have a lot of bugs. What do you do in that case? If you want to have a room that's like this, that you can go outside?
We've talked about putting automatic screens in here that actually can cover it over. The owners actually sleep under a bug screen, a bug net that they put out here. Now, there's another application of the 008 which seals as it comes around more efficiently. So it really depends on the situation, depends on the climate, it depends on the part of the country.
And this room is taking a bed outside. What other types of things can you take outside in this kind of application?
Well, you can take a living room, a family room, and you can even take the whole house and turn the whole house. So there's all kinds of applications. So Kristen, these are other examples of fluid architecture. This is the corner of a house where we can take a whole section of the house, a living room, a family room, really any room, outdoors, completely outdoors. And as you see, it doesn't take extra real estate. It occupies the same perimeter of the house and rotates that large section outdoors.
And this one?
This is what I call a geotech structure. It's a 3-story house. In the morning, it would turn around to the east, so as you lie in bed, the sunlight streams indoors. The solar collectors start collecting energy. They can track the sun during the day and increase the efficiency of whatever solar collecting system you have. In the afternoon, this would be over the kitchen, so you could be outdoors literally. That's another example of how we vary the amount of exposure or connectivity to nature, because you can move around with the glass or without it, and without it, as you can see, the structure opens up and you literally take it outdoors.
And what is this example of?
Well, this is a 008 in a business environment, and big boardrooms, as you know, they don't get used very much. So in this configuration, you can actually swing around and have 2 separate conference rooms. And of course, here we brought another environment into that meeting room. We can bring in a multimedia video conferencing, the boardroom, a brainstorming organizing wall. So that's 4 configurations. 4 configurations, 4. So we actually have 16 configurations. So another example of how much fluid architecture gives choice.
These are wonderful concepts, and I can really see these being utilized in everyday society, in homes and in businesses. That's all the time we have for this bi-coastal edition of High Tech Home. I'm Kristen Best. Thanks for watching.